Sevens Big League. It's the second quarter now. VFL Park game, 4-4-28 Fitzroy, Footscray 1-1-7. Footscray this quarter, though, kicking with the assistance of this strong southwesterly breeze. Racing out forward on the wing position, picking up for Footscray as Baxter. Petraglia goes long with the breeze. That could almost be a goal. I think he's put it through. Great start, Footscray. That's a goal. And so that's just what Footscray needed, Lou. Petraglia bringing up their first goal within half a minute of the second term. 4-4 to 2-1.
Pete, I didn't get around to talking about the Footscray best players. They only had about 3 or 4. Watch that again. A hand pass coming over to Petraglia. It's a long goal from the little fella, the ex-North Melbourne player. And, of course, that would certainly give Footscray a bit of heart. But he was one of their best players in the first quarter with Brants and Steve McPherson. There's the other angle. He's a left footer.
6 kicks to Petraglia and 3 handballs, so a very good player.
Okay, yeah, Pete, that was a good start for Footscray.
28 plays 15 at the 1 minute mark of the second quarter. Petraglia's first goal, knocked away by Purser, picked up by Rendell. Rendell's kick, however, was only a short one down towards half forward of the mark for Footscray, taken by Murray Rance. So far, very solid in defence for the Bulldogs. Rance goes towards the centre wing position, and a good mark out there for the Scraggers is taken by Alan Daniels. Daniels from left centre wing, again not a good kick. And Footscray's disposal in the first quarter wasn't good either. McLean takes the hand pass from Gronewegan. Gronewegan looking for Beasley. Pert right there with him, goes the punch effectively. Punches have gone over the boundary line, and it will be a boundary throw-in about 30 metres from the goal.
He's an old-fashioned full-back, Pert. Doesn't give him much latitude at all. If he can't mark it, he'll go the thump all the time.
Yes, he and Ruse, very solid defenders again so far today for Fitzroy. Trying to take it away was Jimmy Sewell, but he didn't get very far. And the umpire will bounce it. Minute mark of the second quarter. 2-1 to 4-4 in our match of the day on Sevens Big League. Chance for Royal if he can pick the ball up, having trouble doing just that. Very close to the boundary line, and now it's over at a boundary throw-in.
Just over the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 15 points the difference in favour of Fitzroy, but Footscray kicking with the breeze, and it's a pretty strong one with about 4 goals today. Waiting for the ball to come back. It'll be Sewell against Rendell. Well, actually, Rendell hooked that one down. A bit of fumbling going on as it comes out to the 2 number 11, McGuinness and Bauer gets McGuinness picking it up, having a hurried snap. It's a shocking kick right across the face of goals. Beasley goes out. He lets Petraglia go over there. A good hand pass over to Baxter. Baxter has a pot shot at the goals, but he's off target through for 1 point. One of the best games I've seen Petraglia play, even when he was at North Melbourne, and of course he's here now. He's had about 8 possessions so far.
6 kicks and 4
10 actually.
Blue.
That's not bad. And he's also kicked 1 goal, a short pass coming out there to Rendell to take the mark in the back pocket position.
Interestingly, the 2 big guys on the ground have both got thigh bandages on.
Yes, well, Rendell came off the ground in the night football match with an injured groin. And of course, there we see Keane going for a kick. It's over to McIver, and McIver takes the mark out there on that short of the centre wing position down towards half-back for Fitzroy. They're kicking against a pretty stiff breeze. Back in the centre again. A bit of fumbling going. Sewell couldn't pick it up. Turner's grabbed. Umpire said dropping the ball. That was pretty quick on him, and the free kick will go to the Footscray captain. That's Kennedy. Right at centre field. He goes for a pass. It'll be okay. It's grabbed by Baxter. A hand pass over to McLean. They're looking a lot better now, Footscray, as the ball goes up towards their full forward position. I noticed they've got McPherson playing in the forward pocket this time. He started off in the back pocket when they were kicking against the breeze. And he's a very capable forward too, that number 27. Strong player.
7 kicks to Steve McPherson and 2 marks.
Ball back into play again. Knocked out by Rendell, going after his Ruse. It won't bounce right the first time. He kicks it off the ground, doesn't take a chance. Down goes McIver, in comes McLean. Spread eagles the pack as he scoots away from it. Drives it back now, a chance for Rendell. They crash there, but this, luckily for Fitzroy, picked up by Hinchin. His kick is a short one, grabbed by McIver. He's not playing a bad game either, but that's a bad kick. It comes back to Mickey Condon, a hand pass coming over to Turner. Another hand pass coming out wide now, and it's picked up by Keane. Keane's kick is a hand pass, not a good one. Back it goes to Turner, kicks it off the ground. The ball is out of bounds. I think it'll be a throw-in from that half-forward flank position for Fitzroy, about 70 metres around from their goal. Fitzroy, 4 goals, 4-28. The Footscray, 2 goals, 2-14, as we approach the 5-minute mark of this second quarter.
Boundary throw-in. Knocked down by Kellett, picked up by Quinlan, who's been chasing kicks a lot up today. I noticed him on the centre wing position just a few moments back. It's picked up by Brad Hardy, gets clear of Quinlan. It's very close to the boundary line. Ruse knocks the ball to ground rather speedily. McIver again, back to Ruse. In pursuit is Groenewegen. Might have been touched off the boot that. McLean gets there first. No, he doesn't. Conlon, well tackled by Kellett. Holding the ball was a decision of the umpire. And Kellett will take the free kick at the right half-back flank for the Bulldogs. Fitzroy's disposal atrocious in the first quarter. This guy's playing a good game. Petraglia again. Bad hand pass. Daniels, though. Umpire has blown the whistle. Did I say a bad hand pass? It was a throw. Let's take a look at it again.
I'd reckon.
Ian Mecca would have been proud of it. Hinchen, left centre wing. Didn't gain much from that. Blakey, I think he's playing in the centre, isn't he, Lou?
I'm not quite sure, but I don't even know where the half can play these days.
Down to Barwick. Barwick, good long kick against the breeze. Quinlan got two hands to it and got a hand on the back of the head.
He was looking for a free kick, but the umpire didn't see that, I don't think.
I'll say he was.
He got a nice knock on the knock, and then
it's going to be a bounce anyway, about 20 metres from the Footscray goal. Fitzroy goal. Although theoretically it is the other way around, as I mentioned earlier, but in Australian football we don't call it that way. Holding the ball. This time the free kick going against old Super Boot, and it will be taken by Big Purser. Purser a short pass. The two number 11s doing battle, and Barwick wins out on this occasion from McGuinness. Barwick at the left half forward flank for Fitzroy. Right into the breeze, a stiff southwesterly, and knocked through off the hands of Purser for one behind to the Lions. The first score of this quarter, Fitzroy now 4 goals 5, 29, Footscray 2-2-14 at VFL Park, and Brad Hardy will bring the ball back into play.
15 points the difference. Wait now for Hardy. Last year's Brownlow medalist could be in a bit of trouble. He might be caught. He's dropped it. Oh, I thought that was a holding the ball free kick then. He dropped it. No doubt about it.
Well, dropped it or bounced it. It still could have been against him, Lou.
Well, he's gone. He's got him now. He's dropped it. That's holding the ball, I'd reckon. Oh, that was a bad decision. Should have been a decision kicked off the ground by Tilley right across the face of goals. Coming in to meet it now is Sewell. Kellett it is. He goes down. And going over the line that time for Fitzroy was Brown, the ex-Collingwood player, who played so well in the reserves match last week. Waiting for the ball to back into play. Knocked out by Purser. I think he pushed Quinlan in the back that time, but the umpire ignored that off the top of the pack. McPherson missed it altogether. Ruse backing up well, goes for a hand pass to McIver. A good one. He goes for a short pass. This will be okay. And it's marked by Conlon.
9 kicks to McIver and 3 marks. They're one of Fitzroy's best players.
Certainly is. Now, Conlon would be about 45 metres out. Possibly a little bit shorter, directly in front. Now, he can make this distance okay without any worries. There's the kick on its way. He's made the distance, but he's off target and it's through for 1 point. So it's 16 points the difference now. As we approach the 9-minute mark, 30 plays 14 in favour of the Lions. I think he was a little bit disappointed about that kick, but he was a fair way out. Sun shining here now after that very heavy downpour we had in that first quarter. Ball back into play by Kennedy. Coming across that time was Blakey, couldn't hold the mark. They scrimmage there. It's McIver coming out, gives it away. Fumbled Blakey, but luckily for him, it's picked up by Keane. A shot at goal, it could be there, but touched one on the line that time by Kennedy to force it through for 1 point. So at the 9-minute mark of the second quarter, it's 4-7-31. Fitzroy to Footscray, 2 goals, 2-14, a difference of 17 points.
Vic Kennedy, who certainly had his work cut out in the first quarter, trying to look after Bernie Quinlan. Good long kick. Purser goes to palm on. Successful. Rance. Long kick by the West Australian. Down towards half forward, and a fine mark forward lines is taken by Grant Laurie. Great mark by Laurie, who brings the ball towards the member stand side, trying to find Thornton or Ruse. Ruse doesn't let him down, gets it back to Thornton, who fumbles. Petraglia, probably Footscray's leading kick getter, on to Groenewegen. Groenewegen goes for a pass, and that should have been effective to Jimmy Sewell. Can he make amends? Laurie's got him, but might be too high. Sewell still trying. 3 Fitzroy defenders descend upon him. Could have taken the mark though nonetheless. McGuinness. Back to Hawkins. He gets his nose rubbed into the VFL Park turf. It looks like a rugby scrum, doesn't it?
It's classic little football. We've ever seen it.
Well, he should have taken the mark. It wasn't a difficult one.
It was a bad miss by Jimmy Sewell.
And again, they're all easy from up here. 4-7 to 2-2. A bounce. Footscray scoring in. Knocked down by Hawkins, actually. McLean had the opportunity. Hinchin beats him to it. Hinchin's kick is wide. Out towards the flank. And, in fact, it's over the boundary line now. We will see a boundary throw in left half-forward flank for the Bulldogs. Kicking this quarter with the assistance of this very strong southwesterly. 10 3/4 minutes gone in the second term. Knocked down by Rendell. Harris gets the ball into the open spaces. Now it's picked up almost by Barwick. It goes to Baxter, though. Baxter's kick on to wrestle down there between Beasley and Pert. The umpire decides to let it go, and it will be a boundary throw-in. The 6 and 2 threes.
You just watch Pert. He never gives them very much latitude. Yeah. Fancy football.
Would have been difficult to control had he got the ball. Knocked down by Rendell. Good tackle, Thornton. Looking for a holding the ball decision against his Footscray opponent, but none there. With Jimmy Sewell, trying to make amends for dropping that mark. They'll bounce. Right forward pocket for Footscray. Rendell. Long hand pass. McLean should get there first if he can pick it up inside the boundary line. He's having trouble doing that. And it will be a boundary throw in this time in the right forward pocket for Footscray. So Fitzroy's defence again standing firm. Knocked down by Rendell once more, probably winning most of the ruck duels. Brian Royal trying to get the front position from Harris. His shot at goal is ineffective, over the boundary line again.
Just on the, or just over the 12-minute mark of this second quarter. Still 17 points the difference. Moldhouse, Mickey Moldhouse, probably happy with his side's performance so far. And they're kicking with the breeze in this quarter. It's worth about 4 goals, I would say. Down goes Petraglio and Harris. And Laurie's there too, but the umpire will ball it up. Oh, he's found a free kick. It'll go to Bow. Oh, there was a throw by Roos for sure. Yes, the umpire spotted that. Well, he threw it one-handed. He couldn't get the other hand free or the other arm free, and he had to let it go. There's a chance now for the Bulldogs' third goal. What's that again? He's thrown it away for sure. Tried to punch it with the one hand.
So Footscray can get their first 2 goals from free kicks.
And it'll be McGuinness having the shot from right off the kick-off mark directly in front, so he's only about 7 metres out. He'd have to fall over to miss this one. Well, he just squeezed it in. It's a goal. So Footscray creeping a little closer. They go to 3 goals, 2, 20 points. The Fitzroy 4 goals, 7, 31.
Goal kickers for Footscray, Simon Beasley in the first quarter, and McGuinness for Fitzroy. Bernie Quinlan has 2, and Richard Osborne also has 2 goals.
I think their best player would be Petraglio up to the stage of the match. They've had a lot of assistance down there in defence from Rance playing at centre-half back, as we mentioned. Not a stylish player, but Petraglio a real trier, and of course he's had 6 kicks and 5 handballs, 11 possessions into the stage of the match,
and just kicked 1 goal.
That's right. So we're back in business again. The centre bounce knocked out by Purser, grabbed by McLean. A big chance now for Footscray to go deep into attack. It's a long kick, but Roos soon settled that one down. He grabbed that mark down there towards the back pocket position. A short pass to Laurie. He's grabbed it, and he's out there at half back. Still reckon Fitzroy looked the better side so far, Pete, even though they're just in front by, 11 points.
Must agree.
Ball tapped down again. A hurried kick by Turner out wide towards that half-forward line. It beats the back that time, and it's out of bounds. Actually, still on the centre wing position. 4 goals, 7, 31. Fitzroy to Footscray 3-2, 20, 14 minutes gone of the second quarter. At least it's not raining. We had a pretty heavy downpour in that first quarter. But with this wind here, the ground will dry out pretty quickly. I think it's dried out now. They're handling the ball a lot better.
Kicks to Fitzroy, 76. Footscray has 66. The mark's 29 to 14. Double in favour of Fitzroy.
Well, that's right. And that's the way the game appears. And I think Fitzroy's, or the score is flattering Footscray's performance so far. That was knocked out by the big fella Purser. Still on the boundary line. They're all pushing and shoving out there, and the umpire's letting it go, but now he'll ball it up. Still on that centre wing position. Not the most stylish game in the world. 11 points the difference. We'll have to play a lot better, both these sides, to have a chance against Eston, what we've seen of Eston, Peter.
So far in the year, yes. I agree with that.
I must admit, too, we did see a magnificent game last night between North Melbourne and Hawthorn, the MCG under lights. A magnificent game. And Hawthorn were mighty lucky to win that one against the knocked about North Melbourne side with injuries. The ball hits the deck. There's a chance now for Bernie Harris to get it back towards Conlon. He taps the ball in, but Hardy grabs it over. Hand pass from Keane. Over it goes to Barwick. Back to Harris. Good play. Brilliant play. But Conlon's in trouble. Taken away from him by Callan. He had a chance. Then he's put it out of bounds on the full. And Bernie Harris will take that free touch. Was it touched?
Was touched.
Okay, so it'll be a throw-in from Fitzroy's half-forward line, about 65 metres around from their goal. As we approach the 16-minute mark of this second quarter, 11 points the difference in favour of Fitzroy.
Out of bounds once more. Almost in the identical position. Handballs also in favour of Fitzroy, 30-19 so far at the 16-minute mark of the second term. The frees to Fitzroy, 17 and 11 to Footscray. Baxter can't get clear. Now he does. Threads his way through the pack well. His kick up towards the right centre wing position for Footscray. Petraglia again playing a very good game of football. He seems to have found a yard, certainly from last year. Beasley and Pert. The former goes down, allowing Pert the opportunity to get the ball further forward. Picked up by Cordy. Cordy's kick is a short one. Hinchen getting underneath the ball. Will be content to see it over the boundary line. And it will be a throw-in adjacent to the behind post.
This is Footscray's best player, Petraglia, so far.
Easily. Got a lot of kicks around the ground. 7 to be precise. 5 handballs, and as I mentioned, has kicked 1 goal. Jimmy Sewell doing battle with Pert, who knocks that one over his head. Guess who's there? Petraglia again. Gets it over the top of Leon Harris. Down to Royal. Royal will try and get onto the left foot. Does so from 30 metres out. Doesn't make the distance. This time Sewell. Can he take that mark? No, says the umpire. Nearly. Was it a mark, Lou, or a correct decision?
I would have played it for a mark, Pete.
Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, just about a mark in my book. Probably did, well, okay, you could say didn't hang on to it long enough, but I would nearly play that.
Knocked down by Gary Pert. Leaping very high. Looking very keen at the moment. 31 plays 20. Doing a good job on Beasley, whose only goal has come from a doubtful free kick. Sue and Rendell. Nobody getting clear. Least of all McGuinness. Hinchen. Out to the half-back line. Barwick had the front running but slipped over at the crucial moment. And speaking of slipping over, plenty of players are doing that. It's a real roughhouse in there. Ruse had it and then lost it. And the only option for the umpire is, of course, the bounce. And that will take place across the half-forward line for Footscray. Kicking this quarter with the assistance of the breeze. But 18 minutes have been played and still Fitzroy lead. Knocked down by Rendell. Holding the man decision going Fitzroy's way. And who's going to take it? Hinton? Or is it going to be Matt Rendell himself? Yes, it is. The skipper.
Well, Footscray done a fair job in one respect, Pete. Fitzroy haven't scored a goal this quarter.
Mark taken by Cordy. Neil Cordy. Bryant, of course, is out injured at the moment with a knee. Cordy gets a 15-metre penalty. That's a good mark. Taken by Matt Rendell again. Doesn't he make a difference to Fitzroy when he's in the side? Looks for Grant Laurie. Laurie close to the boundary line. In pursuit of Sewell. Laurie gets his kick in, goes around the boundary line. Waiting at the back is Big Purser. Purser puts it high. Too high, in fact, for McGuinness. Laurie goes down. Got one right in the gob. It was a rather nasty one. And Grant Laurie will take the free kick. Here it is again, Lou.
Well, that was bad luck because that's all the Footscray player could do. And I just thought that Laurie left himself open going one-handed for that mark. I think he could have easily got around to get the 2 hands to. It's bad luck. He's okay now.
So Grant Laurie with the free kick across the half-back line. 19.5 minutes have gone in the second quarter. 7 kicks to Grant Laurie and 4 marks.
11 points still the difference. Fitzroy yet to kick a goal at this end of the ground. They're kicking against the breeze. Rendell not doing a bad job this quarter. I would say that neither ruckman have had much influence on the game. At the back is McIver. He's been one of Fitzroy's best players, for sure. And there was no doubt Bernie Quinlan was their most effective player in the first quarter, but they've hardly had the ball down in the second, and so he hasn't had much chance of giving his side any assistance at all. So it's going out there to Neil Cordy. out there at half-back for Footscray. Gordy's kick falls short. Oh, mark dropped by Harris, picked up by Thornton. He goes down, tries to get a hand pass out wide to McIver again. He's grabbed. The umpire said it'll be hold the ball against him. I wouldn't go along with that one. Now the ball driven up there over the half-forward line. In comes Beasley. He's got a chance now. This is his second chance for a goal. He was off target the last time. He's kicked one goal. Oh, he kicked one goal. That's right, he did.
From a free kick,
From a free kick. Now
long way out.
Oh, yeah, he's about 40 metres out, but he could easily kick this distance. This is his second kick for the match. Let's see what he does with this kick. Now, it doesn't make the distance. You were right, Pete. Oh, there's a mark to Sewell. That was a great mark.
Third time's lucky for Jimmy.
Yes, he's dropped a couple of easy ones. But that was a great mark. Now, he's got a chance to make the difference, 5 points. And watch Jimmy Sewell in the middle of the pack. He really flew over at the top of it that time. And a great mark. He's on a pretty acute angle, but he's only about 2 or 3 metres out from goal. He's made sure work of that one. It's a goal, so it's 5 points the difference as we approach the 21.5-minute mark of this second quarter. It's now Fitzroy 4-7-31 to Footscray 4 goals to 26.
Well, Jimmy Sewell, as we mentioned in the commentary, had missed a couple of marks earlier. This is certainly the hardest of the 3, and it was made to look spectacular by Jimmy Sewell, and he converted it for a goal. His first and Footscray's 4 goals kicked by 4 different players. Ryan Royal looks to have a problem with that left eye.
Well, the difference 5 points. And Fitzroy still yet to score a goal at this end of the ground. That's against the breeze. Waiting now for the centre bounce. It'll be Rendell against Purser. Ball knocked out by Purser, picked up by Hinchin at a fresh air shot, scooped it back there to Turner. How's a chance for Fitzroy to go deep into attack, and Keene's got the mark out there on the point of the square. Quickly plays on, but that was touched, pushed away again. That was good play on the part of Ford. Over it goes now to McGuinness, gets a hurried kick around there towards Battaglia and Thornton, but Battaglia doing better. He goes down, but Thornton won't give in either out there on the wing. But there's little Battaglia, no doubt in my opinion, Footscray's best player so far. Umpire will ball that one up at the centre wing position.
7 kicks and 6 handballs to Battaglia.
A bad performance. He's an ex-North Melbourne player. Ball up again. Rendell against Purser. Rendell got that one. Purser taps it on again, and it's out of bounds. Right on the boundary line, I would say. Yes, a throw in down towards the Fitzroy half-forward line. But they're finding it mighty hard to score this end of the ground. So that breeze must be a lot stronger than we thought it was. I thought it was about 4 goals. Purser again. Ball pushed on by Barwick. It comes back now to Keane. He gets a long kick over the half-forward line. Quinlan's in front. Dropped that one. Bernie Harris goes for a hand pass, but there's no one there for Fitzroy. Picked up nicely by Gordy. Hooks it back towards McGuinness and Hinchin. But it's Hinchin winning out that time and knocking the ball out of bounds. But it's creeping around a little further towards the Fitzroy goal. It's out there on that half-forward line about 70 metres around. Ball back into play again. Grabbed by Purser. He's doing pretty well. Oh, he actually threw that over to McLean. Umpire Cameron spotted him pretty quickly, and the free kick will go out there to Conlon. This is Conlon. What a long kick. It falls a bit short, and Hawkins has no trouble in marking that. I thought he might have run off the mark then, but he decided to go back and have a kick. He's looking for someone to make a lead, but he can't find anyone at the moment. Now he's spotted someone out there. And it'll be Baxter, punched away by Thornton, again by Conlon, over to Barwick. This looks dangerous, and this fella's got plenty of pace as he goes for a long kick, looking for Bernie. Quinlan got one hand to it, couldn't grab it. He's going after it again. Ford there with him. Quinlan's grab, that'll be home the ball. They said no. Now's a chance, picked up by Osborne. We see Bernie Harris having a battle there with Hawkins, and the ball is finally forced out of bounds. I reckon that was holding the ball against Bernie Quinlan for sure. Well, that's not holding the ball. Yeah. I'll give the game away.
Must agree with you.
Golly, I think he might have been a little bit sympathetic towards old age then. So the umpire's going to ball it up about 5 or 6 metres out from that Fitzroy goal as we approach the 25-minute mark of this second quarter.
5 points the difference. Purser off the ground. In front is Wallace, who's been a very quiet player today, hasn't he? I think he had 1 kick in the first quarter, and it's going to be a bounce out there on the left half-forward flank. And that's the sum total of stats for Steve Wallace so far. As we now enter the time-on period of the second term, Footscray is still to score a goal down that end. In fact,
you could say he's had a dirty day.
he has. Or Fitzroy, I should say. Bright sunshine at BFL Park after that very heavy shower we had in the opening quarter. Purser doing battle with Rindell, who tries to take it but gets caught by Kellett and could have almost been penalised for holding the ball, but the umpire gives play on. McGuinness putting it a strong tackle, but again it's going to be a bounce. Still across the half-forward line. 4-7 to 4-2 in favour of Fitzroy. They lead by 5 points. No one can get that away from the pack. Finally it's Hardy. Hardy breaks clear, long kick out towards the centre wing position. Ronald Wigan was there, missed it. Picked up by Roos. Chance for Footscray now through Cordy. Can't get clear. Now it's Fitzroy's ball again. Harris goes down, but the hand pass was effective anyway. It's gone to Turner. Turner with a long kick down. Will pull forward, trying to find Quinlan. Kennedy knocks it away. Quinlan tried to have two grabs. It's off the ground. Will it bounce through? Hit the post.
It was a real soccer job, wasn't it?
Oh, it tried to come around. Very close. Went right down the line and then hit the bottom of the goalpost. 32 to 26. 6 points the difference in favour of the line. Brad Hardy to bring the ball back. Hardy favouring the outer side. Wallace couldn't take the grab. Rendell's there. Looks for the hand pass. Gets it back in turn to Pekin. He scooped out again. Plenty of mistakes being made at the moment. Harris's kick is short, marked by Kennedy. Footscray captain having his work cut out in the first quarter with Bernie Quinlan firing on all fours. Quinlan kicked 2 goals and got a couple of long kicks to Osborne. Beautiful kick by Kennedy. Spiral punt out towards the centre wing position. Roos. Ronald Wigan in pursuit. He won't catch him. Short pass. Well done to Thornton. Wallace standing on the mark. Thornton at left half back, or in fact almost up towards the centre wing position. It's gone out wide again. Might be too wide. Barwick right on the boundary line. I'll look at the boundary umpire and he says out of bounds on the full. And so it's going to be a free kick to Footscray. And it will of course be taken by Brian Royal. Just looking at Royal's eye, still looks not the best of shapes. Knocked down by Paul Roos, picked up by Hinchin. Hinchin's kick touched off the boot, back towards the Foster's emblem on the centre wing. McIver down towards half forward, ball with backspin on it. And there goes the siren for half time. And so the scoreboard, 1 goal the difference in favour of Fitzroy. Fitzroy leading 4-8-32 to Footscray 4-2-26 at the main chase.